Okay. Well, yeah, obvious question. Describe how excited you are about taking over this Arizona program, especially with all the returning starters.
Yeah, it's really exciting, you know, and we had a team meeting this morning, try to get everybody going. I know it was a little bit early at 7:15, but I thought it was important that that was the first thing we did before we got through all this talking and everything else today, that they know that what the real importance is, and that they're important, that we're here to help them get better as a team, but also as people, and we're in this together. So we started off the day with a team meeting, try to get them fired up early in this morning, but the big thing was for us to get to know each other, and the only way I know how to do that is face to face, so we'll have those meetings moving forward.
I know that you had mentioned, obviously the importance of having a familiar face in Marcel Yates, and describe what it means for you as a coach to know that Marcel Yates has the confidence of his players, and they're all in when it comes to defense at this point, and obviously you're all in with Marcel Yates as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think me going to the SEC and moving to A&M, I hired him the first year there, and I think nothing says confidence more than that, and made him the co-DC. He came to me and said, hey, listen, I got a chance to go to Boise, which is where I played, and be the DC, call the defense, and so that's the reason he left, no other reason, and that's a big deal to get back to your alma mater, be the defensive coordinator. Gave him an opportunity and the experience that he has now, and just looking at that young defense last year, and I just felt like they were improving, but also continuity in these situations can be important. And as we talked about this morning, when there's change, there's growth. But for players, and particularly a young team, that can be concerning and cause anxiety. And I think Marcel being here gives you some stability, the defensive scheme with growth, and certainly gives us an opportunity, I think, to improve quicker.
And then you're talking stability on defense, but of course, lots of returners, offense as well. What's it mean for you to have coached Johnny Manziel, Case Keenum, all these great quarterbacks in your previous 10 years at Houston, Texas A&M, and the whole 9 yards, and now be able to continue the development of Khalil Tate? Well,
I think that's important. I think, obviously he's shown he's one of the better players maybe in the country, as a young guy. I think the challenges for us as coaches to kind of get together with his skill sets, because television, can do some things, so can video, but you also got to get to know the makeup of a guy, and our job is to get him to trust us, and then start to evaluate him, and talk about what he does well that can help us, but also help him work on things that he's not doing so well, and then offensively, put him in a situation where he's successful, but also get the other 10 guys to make the system quarterback friendly and have them be successful. And so that'll be the challenge in the off season, just to utilize him, because all these guys are different. From Case is a lot different than Johnny. So you can be successful with a lot of those different guys, but you also have to put 10 other guys around him that can help him.
If you don't mind changing the gears a little bit off the field, obviously, we talked to a lot of the USC U of A prominent alumni of football here in the whole 9 yards, and they, it's a community, and it's a small knit community, and Tucson, besides you being the football coach, you're almost the face of the university. And describe how much you're looking forward to living here in Tucson, and maybe elaborate on some of the experiences you've had here in the past in the old Pueblo.
Yeah, we've been here before and visited, so I know a little bit about it, not enough. My two boys were here today because they didn't have school today. School was canceled back in College Station for a freeze warning, which I don't think I got to worry about here. So they were here today, and I think they're excited. We got up this morning, and they were looking. The sun was coming up, and there were mountains. So I got a 13-year-old, 14-year-old that's lived in really Norman and Houston and College Station. I don't think he's really seen many mountains. So they're excited. We're excited, and I think being a part of the community is a big deal. It's more than just being a football coach and And you know, it's my job to get out in the community and meet people, and it starts with on campus with our student base and our student body, and then creating an atmosphere with people where they feel comfortable and want to come to games and want to be around, and so you know, for me that hasn't been an issue, and you know, whether it's been in a really urban environment like the city of Houston, or whether it's been a smaller environment like College Station. So I've got some experience in those areas, and we've always been the same.
And then you talked about it, but describe how the ultimate goal of anybody, if you grow up, you know, in Tucson, born and raised, you want Arizona to win a Rose Bowl, and at least make it to the Rose Bowl. Arizona hasn't at this point. You know, talk about the goals of the team of, you know, every year, obviously knocking off rival ASU, and then also making it to the Rose Bowl. Yeah,
you know, I'm a guy who basically I'm not a red letter circle game guy. You know, I think big games are big games. Rivalry games are big. I don't think you have to sit there and talk about what this game means. I think you get in, you educate young players, and then your team educates the young players about the importance of this game. And but you know, certainly in our conversations with President Robbins and Dave, you know, the championship and the Rose Bowl came up, and you know, I basically said, hey, listen, you know, it's going to happen, and you know, we know it's going to happen sometime. So why not us? Why can't it be us that's part of the Rose Bowl, that's a part of the championship? And you know, that's I think President Robbins is right on. He loved that, and I think he said it to me at least 3 more times since that happens, which adds a little bit more pressure. It went from why not us to why not next year. So that's the kind of guy he is, and that's kind of the attitude that I liked, and you know, and had a lot to do with me being here.
And then, you know, finally, describe. Yeah, no problem. You know, let's talk a little bit about yourself. I mean, what are some of your hobbies? When you're not, you know, grinding, you know, studying film, working on the X's and O's, what are some of the hobbies that you take part in? What are the things that you as a person enjoy to do?
Well, I don't know. I'm one of those guys that, you know, I do a lot with football, do a lot around it. Being with kids are one thing, you know, with boys who are involved in a lot of different sports. Really, those types of things. Maybe a little golf. Some guys play golf. I say I play golf. I'm not very good, but I like to play. And so there's a lot of things here in town and restaurants. You know, everybody, everywhere I ask, you know, what's the best restaurant? I'm getting a list together right now. Everybody's really helpful with that. So, you know, getting to know the community, getting to be out and about, and with the kids, and you know. Playing a little golf, I guess.
Are you an outdoorsman in any way? You got the mountains surrounding you.
Yeah,
a lot of good hiking,
you know, we'll be, but I'm not big on that. You know, you know, that's part of it. I'd rather just sit there and look at it. So and really appreciate it. But you know, I'm looking forward to being here. I'm looking forward to the weather. Everybody's talking about it's hot. Well, it's pretty hot in Houston in July. So it's a different kind of heat.
Yeah.
But we're used to it, and looking forward to it.